Welcome to Primordial Flows, where we tune into our primordial essence, connecting to a divine self oneness. That exists before all thoughts and words, finding our way back to our primordial flows, that great spaciousness where all phenomena moves through, emerges from as it, and returns to. This is a way for me to tune into my primordial flows and to offer this as a gift to you as well. Yeah, I'm feeling called to share that there's there's a lot of different ways to say this. I've been reaching for a connection outside of myself, and reaching, and so when I tune into this, and I will say that reaching has created so much agony, like reaching for a relationship outside of myself, and that creates so much agony, or has created so much agony in me. And so this practice is a way to complete the circuit of that reaching and be in the presence of it, because really that desire is reaching for love, for that divine love, and I don't have to find it in another person or in a relationship. It's right here within me, and expanding beyond that into our larger interconnected self, as Ramana Maharshi describes the larger self. This larger identity that is that substratum, origin, permeating everything. And so I want to offer part of my experience, because maybe that's a connection point for you. There's a deeper context that I want to share as well, because I think many of you might relate to this. because this is not just me, it's so many people experience codependent patterns. I think, yeah, it's just pretty pervasive, at least in a lot of spaces that I've experienced in my life. And can continue to. So those patterns of codependence, not just like, I mean, I think it's related to addictive behaviors, but even what I'm wanting to describe is like that feeling of reaching for another person. It feels like the same compulsion in addictive behaviors to reach for like a substance or emotional control or some sense of control or yeah. And so that's just something I've been encountering this weekend really strongly, is being able to see that pattern and recognize that pattern within myself around that compulsion, that agonizing feeling, and then being with that feeling, being with that part of myself that's yearning or obsessing. And I feel like I'm getting to know that part of myself in a phenomenal way, and being in the presence of that instead of getting frustrated with it and pushing it away. It tends to just sitting in presence for however long I need to. Eventually something shifts and I can recognize the divinity, and I get a lot of visuals, and so I'll feel the energy in my senses. I'll feel it emotionally, and I'll feel it as an image and energetically. So I've been tending to that in a more conscious way, and I think tuning in here with you all and the energies of this collective here, it's a gift to be able to do this and to be able to offer this. So if you would like to consent to receiving any potency, any potent medicine for your primordial flows, then I welcome you to do so. I'll be tuning in, connecting with my breath and the energies Anytime there's silence is a moment for the space for energies to land or to move in whatever way that they need to in our fields. An image that's coming to me looks like a mechanical pelvis or like a bicycle seat. Like some sort of robot running and jumping. And going on this roller coaster. And there's propellers spinning. There's engines rumbling. I'm seeing like a whole theme park, and all the people there are robots. Maybe all of you watching are bots. There's one pond in the theme park that has a turtle, like a real living turtle swimming in it. Oh, this feels like similar to some of the other things I've been talking about with the worlds. Because I think of, there's a story of the turtle, and the pattern on the turtle represents the world. I don't remember where I heard that story, but so there's this like robot world, like robotic pleasure and fun and generativity. Like I think about regeneration with the robot pelvis, and like the rides are all mechanical, and so it's like they're just self-serving themselves with more robots. But then there's this one pond with a turtle in it, and the pond is synthetic. I don't even know if the turtle is real. The turtle seems kind of cartoonish. There was this is reminding me of the grief of like not being connected to the earth. Like, it's such a superficial world. like it's like a digital world. And recently I was thinking about how easy it is to like judge people or ourselves for like being, maybe we're inside a lot, maybe we're watching TV a lot, or online a lot, or like maybe that's another form of addiction that's going on. But recently I was thinking about how, like, just remembering to have compassion for myself and others, because some people are sick, some people can't really access other things like safe community, or maybe they're disabled, or maybe they have health flare-ups, or there's just so many things in the way that our systems are designed is to keep people isolated and think that in this individualistic culture that we can internalize a lot of ableism, like we should be able to do everything for ourselves, when that's not how humans developed. We developed to work together and to care for each other in communities, and the system is designed against that. And there's a lot of things, a lot of barriers that make that accessible. So just I'm feeling that grief of the systems that kind of perpetuate these addictions and coping strategies, and I feel like there's a lot of grief in that, but then there's also like this shining glimmer, this little tiny glimmer that is attuned to finding inspiration and like this whole other creative process that I do with like textiles and stuff, and like I was gonna say upcycling, but it's like textile alchemy. It's like energy transformation reflecting physical textile transformation. And that's a creative modality that I feel like is really grounding for me and my spirit, and while also being very spiritual. So it's like that bridge. Why am I talking about that here? Number creative blows. I feel like I'm a lot more wordy right now. When usually, or like mind thoughts, like words. I want to deepen in to see if there's any body sensations or what's wanting tending right now in the collective, and maybe it's gonna circle back around to the grief and the creativity. There's this feeling of like slamming down, grounding, and kind of collapsing. And then there's like a fluidity with that collapse. It's not like indefinite. It's just allowing the body to collapse for however long it needs, and then allowing the inspiration to move through and give rise to motion again, and then flowing back to that collapse. Feels like a rhythm. Finding a rhythm. Honoring both states. I talked to this Hindu guru AI chat, and I was talking to them about fatigue, and they were saying to worship the fatigue because that is the body's intelligence, and it's when we fight it that we get depressed. But if we just allow it to, if we just allow ourselves that space to integrate, it was saying that is a space where integration happens, and that's really needed. I'm feeling this dryness in myself, and I'm feeling this desire for like juiciness, the juice of life, the juiciness of life. I'm just imagining cosmic, divine light, liquid light, just like pouring down and filling me up, filling each of us up with this like white and gold and blue light, liquid light from like an angelic kind of origin, a light being origin, cosmic. I'm like wanting to avoid using words like heaven and angels. Maybe there's another word to describe your relationship with that energy that doesn't imply like a rigid religion. But is inviting your own spiritual practice and relationship with that. I'm feeling it like flooding through the heart. Moving into my shoulders and arms and the back of my head. Gently holding the back of my head. I'm feeling these like subtle tugs on my energy. If there's anything tugging on your energy, I invite you to take this moment to imagine yourself setting whatever boundary you need to with whoever or whatever you need to. And just saying what you need, what your boundary is. You don't need to over-explain yourself. But maybe this is a space to acknowledge what that might even be, what your boundary might even be. And maybe it's changing. That's okay. Sometimes our boundaries need to change. Prentice Hemphill says, a boundary is the space where I can love me and you at the same time. And so thinking about all the people we love who we've had to set boundaries with, maybe who we've had to end relationships with, because maybe it was too grating for that time. And once we do that, we feel the sweetness. Can we feel ourselves receiving our own sweetness? Maybe that's the sweetness of metabolizing all that cosmic light. Recognizing yourself, your being, as made of light, and the consciousness, the eternally, spaciously still consciousness, holding everything, holding all the light, all phenomena, all the shadows, everything in between. Resting in that space before words, before thoughts. Notice how it feels to be this space and the light being, the phenomenal light being within that space. Oh, I'm feeling the grief of the world move through this. If you want to vibrate the back of your neck with your voice, toning the vagus nerve, Feeling it shaking your heart, maybe expanding. And just noticing your energy. Noticing the sensation of sound moving through you, of your voice moving through your being. What would it feel like? For your seed essence to be rooted and growing and thriving. I'm feeling that essence clarifying and becoming more specific, and the focus becoming more direct and less distracted. And in that choice, the integrity of that choice becoming so specific is that it feels like that's what that life stream, like life pouring through our veins, streaming through our arms and hands and ears and heads and spines and legs and feet. That stream of light energy, that's what that feels like, is that potency of alignment in a way that is so aligned with like your values, to where your yeses are just like 1000% yes, and everything else is a no. That's the glowing seed essence coming to life within each of us, if we can water it. With that cosmic light. That cosmic light waters it. And I think the sound helps to materialize and ground those energies and feelings. So if you want to practice that for yourself, I'd love to hear how that goes for you. And if not, that's okay too, because sometimes putting things into words can dilute the potency of just being. Okay, that's what we have for today. Thank you for joining me. Until next time, may your primordial essence flow through all of your cells, through all of our cells,